everybody. This is Kevin Davidson, your host for Kevin's Corner, real estate from a marketing perspective, and this is episode number 34. So it is 2024, the new year, and we're getting back at it with the podcasts. I have a couple of great guests today, and I always like to start off the podcast by telling everybody that this podcast is not about me, it's about you. It's about the guests that are on the podcast. I do the podcast, put it out there on YouTube, and let the guests promote the podcast to promote their business and promote themselves. So if you are an agent or a vendor that operates in Fort Bend County and you want to be on the podcast, give me a call, 832-654-0527, or email me at kevin.davidson@stewart.com. I'd love to put you on the podcast. Also, I couldn't do this podcast if it wasn't for my support team, Jennifer Smitis, the Area Vice President, Caitlin Kornick, Devin Devin, the escrow officers here in the Sugar Land office, and Wendy Santana and Adriana Alzate, our new Spanish-speaking escrow officer in the Richmond office. So if you're not using Stewart title in Fort Bend County, you will be soon. Let's get started. So this is episode number 34. We like to have fun on my podcast. This is Stephen Curtis from NRL Mortgage. I've known him for a little while. I know him through Carrie Jo Woodling, whom everybody knows. She's been around longer than there's been real estate.
You got to be careful.
Yeah, I know. She's sitting right over there. So Carrie Jo is in the house. She just doesn't. She's not on camera. So say hi, Carrie Jo.
Hello, everybody.
There you go. There's Carrie Jo. So Stephen Curtis is you're in charge of own. Tell us about yourself and why you're here.
Right. Well, first, thanks for having me.
Sure.
So I serve as the Chief Production Officer for NRL Mortgage. So national sales support, in charge of growth, with the current, future, existing branches, loan officers that are looking for a move, looking for something that is more focused on being loan officer serving. Our biggest focus is just building and molding a company that is built to serve a loan officer. Okay. And so I'd worked at NRL Mortgage from 2011 to 2016. Okay. I had a branch.
So it's not a brand new for you.
No, some of the people that I worked with are still there, and it was really good to see them. It was kind of like a welcome home. But we had a very successful branch there. We were number one in the company. And I had two partners, and I wanted to kind of have multiple branches, and they just kind of wanted to stay local. So we ended up parting ways, and I kind of went and built, what I've had and built for the last 8 years. And we always kept in touch.
The last 8 years you've been on your own.
Yeah, I was on my own. Well, I say on my own. We have a great team, and we've had some incredible years since 2016. But I've always been in contact with the people that own NRL, and we've talked 2 or 3 times, and it just wasn't right timing. And this time around, it just made sense to come in as the Chief Production Officer and take over supporting the sales group for the country and all those branches, and just bringing in a different perspective. 1 month ago, I was originating loans. So I still have a feel for what it takes to be a successful loan officer in this market, which was a very challenging market. So being able to bring that to the executive table and be able to make change and decisions that will affect people's ability to get business and support their real estate partners is a big deal. It's what I am literally made to do.
So you're in a better place.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a better opportunity. The thing that gets me going, I'm not the person that gets super excited about the paperwork of loans, but I do get super excited about building people and supporting people and fostering growth in people. So being able to do this at the level that I am now, it is literally the perfect position. So I'm very, very excited about it. It's very new. As a matter of fact, they put the formal announcement internally out today.
I saw it
on
Facebook.
You could effectively say today is my first day.
Today's
but
his first day.
Very, very ready to go get to work for everybody.
And for what I understand, pretty much everybody that's on your team where you came from came with you.
They did. Yeah. So we've been together a long time. We're a very tight-knit group. I mean, they're definitely like family to me. And, you know, it started off with, does this make sense for them?
Right.
And then once we had something that made sense for them, I
Because
asked.
you guys, we don't have to talk
Yeah.
about who it was, but you guys, not too far in the distant past, made another change,
Mhm.
and now you made this one.
Yeah. So it was a stepping stone. It was a means to an end. We had to make a change a year ago. You always hope that whatever that change is will be what you need.
Mm-hmm.
And if it doesn't, that's fine. It's just business. I'm not.
Well, you have to take chances.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, if it looks like it's a better opportunity, you have to go for it.
Yeah, I mean, we
If it
went.
doesn't work out, it doesn't work out.
Yeah, I mean, we went for it as a group, and we all agreed that it wasn't what we needed, and this was a better opportunity for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So if it works for everybody, we go. So once we knew it was good for everybody, then I kind of asked them the permission, like, hey, you know, I want to do this. You know, It's
Right.
been a long time coming. I think you guys know, for what really gets me excited, this is it. Like, this
Right.
is the opportunity. And it's not often that you get a chance to step into a role like this that's in your backyard. Like, I
Mhm.
didn't have to move. I didn't have to move states. I didn't have to relocate. It's right here in Houston. And, you know, this is where I've been my whole life.
Well, I'm glad you didn't have to move, and I'm glad you didn't have to take Carrie Jo with you.
I would have.
Yeah, I know you would have.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been upset about that.
Yeah.
So tell everybody about NRL Mortgage, because there's going to be real estate agents
Sure.
watching this podcast.
Yeah, so it started 16 years ago. So I've been in business 16 years ago. We're an independent mortgage bank. So what that means is we're not a Wells Fargo bank.
Mm-hmm.
So we only do one thing, right? We do mortgage loans.
Loans. Yeah.
So if you're only going to do one thing, you got to be really good at it. So
Hey, my old boss used to tell me all the time, we only make cheese pizzas because we make the best damn cheese pizza in the industry.
I mean, I like a thin cheese pizza.
There you go.
So you know, it's bar pizza.
Exactly.
But what I will say is, you know, what they were 8 years ago when I left to what they are today is night and day.
Mhm.
And that's what you want from a company, right? You want to see that a company is growing. You want to see that a
Evolving.
company is evolving.
Mhm.
They're keeping up with the times. They're one of the more tech-forward companies. One of the more tech-forward companies I've had an opportunity to speak or sit down with, because, you know, Kevin, I keep up with people that are at lots of companies. I have a pretty good idea of what's going on at most of the companies around the Houston area.
Right.
So I know what our competition is. I know what we need to do. I know where we need to be. And the thing that I would say is, even in the last 12 to 18 months, there's been some extremely positive change at NRL. So if you are listening to this and you haven't given them a chance in the last 18 months, you're probably missing out.
Mm-hmm.
And all we're going to do is continue to improve.
Especially since you're there now.
Well, that feels like a lot of pressure, but I'm up for it.
You bring a lot to the table.
Well, I bring a lot of experience and I bring a lot of knowledge from being at really large companies that were really good.
Yeah.
So, you know, I started in this business in 2002. So the best parts of every place I ever was is what I've always tried to make our team,
Mm-hmm.
right? You take the best parts of every place you've ever worked, and then you try to put all those things together, and you just try to build a place that people feel comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they feel comfortable that their business is safe in your hands, right? And if
Yeah.
they feel that way, then they are, you know, kind of like, they feel like released to go get as much business as possible.
Well, if they know, like, and trust you, then they don't have to worry about that aspect of their business.
And that,
They
and
know
that,
that they send it to you, it gets taken care of. They send it to Carrie Jo, it gets taken care of. They don't have to worry about it.
yes. And to build that culture, it has to be from us at the company level, and it has to be felt all the way down to the loan officer.
Mm-hmm.
And if the loan officer doesn't feel that directly from me, then we're not doing our job.
Yep.
So that is the culture that we are creating, and that is what we are permeating to our sales force. And I think it's going to take a very short period of time before it's felt in our community, because our community is going to know that we come from a place of having a servant's heart, and that we are always going to be giving back, not just through the service that we give people to buy homes, or the partners that we partner with in the real estate community or title community, et cetera, but actually making change in the community. Our team has always been very focused on, why would we, like, if we're number one in the market, what does it matter if we're not doing something good with it, right? So we've always been very involved in making sure we're giving back, making sure that we're supporting Certain groups, like we do a lot for veterans.
It's the Red Day shirt that I got was sitting over there.
Yeah, and that will be with us no matter where we are.
Right.
Like we will always support our veterans no matter where we are. And then once a year we do a big golf tournament for breast cancer awareness too. And over the years, well, you'll know about it this year.
Okay. Huh? Okay.
But over the years, you know, I don't like to talk about numbers, but we've helped a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it's a
Well, that's what it's about.
well, it's the result of working with people that want to make change, make positive change in people's lives. So most of the people that have ever received a grant or help from us, the idea or the nomination came from within our group. So they're finding the needs of the community, and then we're filling them.
Nice.
But we cannot do that without mortgage loans, because that's the only thing we do,
Right.
right? So we have to be really good at those so that we can also serve our community in a real way. And that is what every single person in the organization of NRL is going to understand starting today.
Sounds like you know exactly what direction you want to go and how you want to get there.
Yeah, I'm ready.
How many people do you have on your team here other than Carrie Joe, in the city of Houston surrounding area?
Yeah, so we had 45 people make the move. We have
Wow.
3 locations. We're in Humble, Katy, and Friendswood.
Okay.
We have been number 1 in Galveston County for purchase transactions for the last 5 years.
Nice.
You know, market share is important. I know that you're working on.
I
Your
got
work-
great news today about my
Yeah,
market
you're
share,
you're working on that too, and you know, it's easier to get to number 1 than stay.
Oh, of course. Yeah. I mean, it's like anything else.
Yes, absolutely. So once you get there, it's very hard to stay. So we pride ourselves on the fact that we've been able to do that, and a lot of that just comes from being with people that, you know, they're extremely innovative. They have no issues with collaborating. No one keeps secrets. No one has silos. We are 100% open communicators. If something's working for one person, they share it with everyone. If you could ever be on one of our team's calls, if someone has something that's working for them, I will just call them out and say, tell everybody what you're doing. And they're not going to keep that to themselves because market share is about building a brand. And when you build a brand, your job gets easier. If people have heard of you and have had a good experience, they're more likely to refer business to you.
Exactly.
So sharing those ideas and those innovations with each other makes it easier for you to grow.
It makes everybody on the team better.
Well, sure, and there's absolutely no positive that comes from silos or keeping secrets. So that type of collaboration and innovation is another thing that we're bringing. And Kevin, I've never been more excited going into a year.
Well, this is the second or third time that I've either talked to you or been with you, and this is the most excited I've ever seen you.
This is excited for me. Like, if you don't know me, I am on fire excited right now.
Right, he's not moving much.
I'm a super level guy, but I work very intensely, and I am very intentional, and I always have a plan, and it's mapped out. And one thing I've gotten very good at in my 21 years, almost 22, is I would say I probably execute as well as anyone.
Awesome.
Ideas are fun. Actually putting them down and executing them is harder.
Yeah.
And we've created processes around that I think make our team special. And I'm excited to give that away.
I'm excited that you basically announced this on my podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just leveled up.
You did. Yeah.
So is there anything that you'd like, since you're number 1 in Galveston County, and you're looking to be number 1 in Harris and Fort Bend and Brazoria, and
there's no reason we shouldn't be number 1 in Harris County if our corporate office sits there.
right.
So that is number 1 priority for 2024.
So is there anything that you'd like to tell agents in podcast land today that might be watching this about your new announcement and your new venture that they need to know?
Yeah. So what I would say is what I said earlier. If you've used NRL in the past, or if you've not given them a chance in the last 18 months, it is a completely different experience. What we are building, what we have built, what we continue to work on, the things that are on the roadmap, the projects that we are working on are going to make us number 1 in the market, period. And I'd love them to be able to experience that before we get there. You know,
Nice.
it's not, I mean, When Starbucks was small,
Bandwagon.
you go to Starbucks
Bandwagon.
and you're like, hey, I'm
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. But once you're number one, it's easy to be like, oh, yeah, well, of course they're good. Let's go do
Yeah.
business there. You're going to get to be a part of that, right?
You want them to experience it before you.
Well, I want their feedback.
Mm-hmm.
They can help. I am not the smartest person in the room. I surround myself with people that are, and I'm always listening. So if you're a real estate team or you're a real estate agent and you're looking for a company that not only is going to care, but that you can give feedback and they will listen and enact change that'll be positive for your business, I'm right here. And I'm literally the one that can do that.
I mean, the buck stops with this guy.
100%.
So in today's market, those are very important things that you have to think about when you're running your own business. Agents are running their own business. You need to work with vendors that you know, like, and trust. And here's one right here that's actually making a commitment to you guys on the podcast.
On the podcast.
On Kevin's Corner.
If you've
podcast.
ever said the words, I really like my lender, except, you need to call me.
And how do they do that?
My number is 832-398-1020. You can get right to me. My email is steven.curtis@nrlmortgage.com.
Awesome.
Even if you just want to say, you guys could be better at something, or I had this experience, I don't care what the feedback is. Just give it to me, because no matter what, we're going to get better.
Any feedback is good feedback.
100%.
Whether it's positive or negative, they want to know it all. Well, congratulations, Steve.
Thank you.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for being on the podcast,
Yeah.
and good luck with the new venture. And I've never seen him smile so much.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Give him the phone number one more time.
832-398-1020.
Awesome. Again, thanks for being on the podcast. We'll come back with segment number 2 with Angie MIddlebrooks. Bye. Hey, everybody. We're back. This is Kevin Davidson, your host for Kevin's Corner, Real Estate from a Marketing Perspective, segment number 2 of episode number 34. Just got done talking to Stephen Curtis from NRL Mortgage. Carrie Jo Woodling is still in the house. Say hi.
Hi, everybody.
And everybody that I know knows who this is.
Well, I don't know about that,
Oh, yes.
but it sounds fun.
Okay, there you go. So this is Angie MIddlebrooks from Remax Fine Properties. Say hi.
Yeah. Hi, everyone.
Remax. Angie is a real estate agent, and she's also the
Managing partner.
managing partner of Remax Fine Properties, who's
Correct.
also in charge of
Retention, recruiting, new office space, expansion, basically working right alongside our broker and owner, Nimesh Patel.
Okay. And you also handle
Training.
training for new agents.
Yes.
Awesome. So
And a little bit of continuing education, even for our seasoned agents. You've been a part of that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that was a lot more than I anticipated you were going to say, or I was going to say. So congratulations.
Okay.
She's been on the podcast before. Brought her back again this year, and I'm sure she'll be on the podcast again. So tell everybody that's watching that doesn't know who you are, and what you like to do.
All right, Angie MIddlebrooks, Remax Fine Properties, also have my own group. So I do a small book of business in addition to my role at Remax Fine. I'm going to throw some kudos back to this guy. We met when I had my own Remax brokerage, but before I merged in with this one, did a wonderful job helping some new agents at that brokerage, and we've continued our relationship.
Yeah,
So.
I appreciate it, because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be in that office.
Well, fantastic. See, it's a
Nimesh-
win-win.
Nimesh, you're such a hard nut to crack. But
Once you're in, you're good, though.
yeah, once you're in, if he likes you, he loves you. So
Yeah.
awesome. Tell everybody just a little bit about talk about Remax Fine Properties.
Remax Fine Properties, largest Remax in the state of Texas. We all know that this is a different kind of, well, I want to talk a little bit more about the year and how that ties into
That's
Remax.
fine.
So we all know that last year was a little wonky. This year is going to be a little more interesting. Our prior guest probably spoke about rates a little bit. We think it'll be improved, but brand is really important this year. And making sure that you're known so that when you walk into those appointments, you already have a foot in the door before you start talking. And with Remax, you have that.
Yeah, it's not about the difference between this year and the previous years is there's not as much business. So you have to brand yourself and get out there, and so people know you. So they can know, like, and trust you, and you're the one they choose to do business with.
And if you align yourself with a brand like Remax, we
Mhm.
already know they're the most known brand in the industry. So if there's not as much business and you're having to work for what you have, why not be with the brand that gets you one step further down the
You're
road?
halfway there.
Exactly.
Everybody recognizes the Remax balloon.
That's right. Power of the balloon.
Exactly. And the one thing that you guys meaning Remax Fine Properties,
Mhm.
allows the agents that are under your umbrella is they're allowed to promote themselves.
Well, absolutely, because you have your own business within the business. I mean, you're an independent contractor as a realtor. It's our job for you to do the best that you can by supporting you immensely.
Mhm.
So we are staff heavy at Remax Fine. We always tell people that when you come here, if you've got the drive, we're going to support that and get you further down the road.
Every time I go over there, and I was supposed to go there last week and I forgot, but it worked out.
I'll forgive you.
Yeah, well, a lot of.
Yeah.
But, so every time I go over there, there's always two people at the front counter.
Well,
Not one. There's two people at the front counter. There is your little head poking up right behind your last wall.
Chelsea.
Chelsea's across the aisle from you, right over there. And there's usually people sitting over here on the couches and around the corner.
We are working really hard. I guess that's something we can talk about. But the last time I came, we hadn't moved yet. So we're in a brand new location.
Yes.
Brand new location in between Settlers Way and Williams Trace. We're 14,000 square feet. We have private office space available. We have a game room. We have common space. We are working diligently to get people back in the office. Before COVID, there was a vibe within most companies that has gone away, and we are bringing it back. We're giving you reasons to come into the office. And if we're going to spend a lot of time with the people that we work with, let's make it fun. We work hard, let's play hard.
Yeah, one of the things I'm going to do this year is I'm going to put it on my calendar to come by and see Remax Fine Properties, not to talk business, but just to challenge somebody there at a game of pool.
You should, absolutely. I will say you'll be requested to play ping pong. That'll end up coming in, but yes,
Is that Nimesh's favorite?
it is.
Is it really?
Absolutely.
I tell you what, I'll never forget the fact that he, before the Christmas party, I was in the office, and I was there to see you and somebody else, and he walked up to me and he goes, "I think I need some help." And I said, "Well, what do you need help with?" He goes, "These agents don't understand that now's the time to do what you," and he pointed at me, "are teaching people. Grow your brand, get your social media together, put your website, get out there, video, all this stuff. And everybody's just complaining there's no business, but now's the time to do that stuff."
Yes. So, I mean, while it would have been great if you would have started that last year and started filling your pipeline, if you haven't, you still can, and we have the tools to help you.
Oh, of course.
So, like I always tell, no matter when you start, when people are like, "Oh, I shouldn't," and then they don't want to because they think it's too late. It's never too late.
Mm-mm.
It's never too late. So we definitely
It's never
support our agents wherever you are. I would say wherever you are in the walk of your career, we have some tool and somebody that can help you get to the next level.
It's never too late to brand yourself.
Absolutely.
Now, and correct me if I'm wrong, but up until about a year ago before you came on, if you were a new
If you were a brand new agent, you were not going to Remax Fine.
There
That's
you
what
go.
you wanted to say. That's correct.
I wanted to make sure I said it politically correct, but you said it.
So how have
You
we?
can now, right?
You can now, and how have we transformed?
Mhm.
So bottom
What's
line is,
different between last year and now?
I'm there that offers a training program for new agents. We call it we call it Launch. But
Okay.
what we want people to know about Remax Fine. So if you're out there and you're listening, agents, then Remax Fine has always been the home to top producers.
Mhm.
Historically, we've always outproduced some of the offices that have greater number of agents. Our volume supersedes. But we also build top producers, and that's what people need to hear. And what happens when you're around people? I always say you're the most like the 5 people that you surround yourself. Surround yourself with top producers.
Mm-hmm.
Surround yourself with top producers that don't keep everything close to the vest, that are willing to share what they're doing, because they know that you're not the same as me. Even if we did the same thing, we wouldn't be competing against each other. And
Plus, if they're a top producer, they've been doing it for a while. They're not going to be around very much forever.
so we,
Sooner or later, they're going to retire. We need other people to come in and be top producers.
I believe that.
But I agree with you that there are some top producers that don't want to share anything.
And I would say our culture is a little bit different. In general, we have a family vibe. Even when you sign up, when you say, I'm joining Remax, you have a document that you're looking at that describes what the family is like. You're not joining a brokerage, you're joining a family.
Wow. Well, I tell you this, I mean, I can't be biased, but when everybody asks me about Remax Fine Properties, I always tell them every time I go in there, I feel like they want me to be there.
That's right.
It's not, oh my God, Kevin's here again, or it's not difficult to walk into your office. You don't have to worry about that.
Well, that's because we value our partners.
Oh yeah.
We know that you are providing a service to our agents. That makes our agents better. That makes our brokerage better. We all rise.
And I have seen a huge difference in between before and after you got there.
I think it's just a different personality type added to the mix. There's a yin and a yang that I think.
I understand that,
right.
And we don't need to get into that. But I mean, from a perception that agents have from the outside looking in at Remax that aren't part of Remax Fine Properties, the perception's different now. Because
well, we're also changing with the times too, though.
Right.
So I think that comes with when the market changes. And you've got different people coming into the market, different people getting their license, especially professionals who already had a successful career changing. We've got to figure out how to welcome those people in and make everybody feel that they're at home.
Yeah.
I think we've done a good job of that. And I hope we keep getting better.
Well, you definitely have, because I mean that's what I'm hearing in Fort Bend County.
Well, I like that.
So there's a lot of agents that have told me, I think I want to try and get into Remax now because I heard they changed. And I mean, let's face it, okay? Even with his wild hair and his beard and all that good stuff, everybody wants to be part of his family if they can.
If they can. And I don't think everybody, I almost want to say it one more time, that you don't have to be a top producer that's batting it out of the park to be at a Remax office anymore.
No.
You can be a good agent with drive and have the support that you need, and we will help you be successful.
Mm-hmm. It's got to be a right fit.
Now, that doesn't mean we wouldn't love to have some more top producers, because Lord knows we've got everything that you need and then some.
Of course. But if you're a real estate agent out there watching this and you've always wanted to be part of, the Fine Properties family, give Angie a call, because it might be possible now.
Absolutely.
So what are some things coming up in the future for 2024 for Angie MIddlebrooks and Fine Properties?
So we'll start with Fine Properties. We have expanded into Austin. So we now have an office in Austin. We have a temporary location. We're working on solidifying our permanent home. We have 36 agents there. We are growing.
36 agents in what, like 7 months?
In 3 months?
3 months?
4 months?
Something like that?
Yes,
yeah.
right.
It's been a very short time. So congratulations on that. And you've been up to Austin several times, right?
Yep, I go up to Austin twice a month now.
Oh, you do? Really?
We host a office meeting that Nimesh leads, and then we do a roundtable at the end of the month that I lead. And again, it's going back to cultivating the culture that we have here with the agents that are there. So awesome. We plan on growing organically there through that family vibe. It works.
Is the Austin and Houston are different cities.
Completely different markets.
That's
different,
right.
yeah.
Well, that and the agents. Is dealing with them different? Are they different types of?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say different types of agents, but because their business practices are a little different, we've all learned a little bit.
Some adjustments.
But bottom line is, the agents that have come to us, they are astounded at the level of service that they get. So me as an agent, I still do a book of business. Service is part of it, really, but it's the experience. Because you'll think service is great, but you'll remember an experience. Mm-hmm. So we take that into our brokerage, and we go about it the same way of how we treat our agents.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what's coming up that's going to be different in 2024 for Angie MIddlebrooks?
2023 was a jump start of me managing a book of business and taking on this role. I think I've found the level ground.
Stride.
I found my stride, yes.
Yeah, I remember in the beginning, your stride was all over the place.
It was. I have a great assistant, Desiree,
Yeah.
that works with me that has a lot to do with my success. I'm sure she feels like she's herding cats with me a lot of times, but we definitely have found our space. I'll give a shout out. I'm definitely a Buffini girl. I'm relationship driven. Most of my business, I think I tracked it for end of the year, 82% of it is referral based. So if we do business together, I'm likely going to be friends. We'll probably have dinner together, and I like that type of business.
Which we've all done before.
That is exactly right.
Yeah. That's why out of the blue, how's when?
I'm the real estate agent that becomes your friend. I know your kids' names. I know your dogs' names. That is who I am, and why pretend to be anything else?
Awesome. Tell everybody if they need a real estate agent to buy, sell, or lease, or invest, how to get a hold of you.
Buy, sell, lease, or invest, all of which I can help you with. You can call me directly. I'll give you my cell number, 832-228-7737. And I am Angie at the AngieMiddlebrooksGroup.com. So Angie at AngieMiddlebrooksGroup.com.
And do you have a website, social media?
I am Ask Agent Angie on social media for Instagram, and then just Angie Middlebrooks on Facebook. And Remax Fine, I'm Angie at Remax Fine. Same cell number applies. If you want to learn more about the brokerage, more about becoming the best of the best, and to be unstoppable in 2024, you can call me at 832-228-7737.
And again, I cannot be biased, but
I love that.
if you were an agent that asked me what I thought, I would not tell you not to call Remax Fine Properties.
Well
and
done,
find
Fred.
out if
Well
it would
done.
fit for you. I'm recording this, so it had to be that way.
Right.
So thank you very much for being on the podcast for the second
I'd
time.
love to be here.
Appreciate it. This was episode number 34, Kevin's Corner, real estate from a marketing perspective, and this microphone gets hit me in the face. I want to thank, again, Jennifer Smitis, Caitlin Kornick, Devaney Devon, Wendy Santana, and Adriana Ozalte. And again, if you're watching this and you're an agent or a vendor that works in the Fort Wayne County area and you want to be on the podcast, give me a call, 832-654-0527, or email me at kevin.davison@stewart.com.
And one last plug. If you're an agent thinking about making 2024 an awesome year, you should call Angie Middlebrooks at Remax Fine, 832-228-7737.
Or call Kevin Davison at 8. We'll go back and forth on that. So thanks again for being on the podcast. You guys have a great weekend. This podcast will be available, this episode, next week. Until next week on Friday, we'll see you soon. Bye-bye now.
Bye now.